Hi, I'm David, and I'll be interviewing Charles.
First, my name is Charles Goodman. Well, I served with the 173rd Airborne Brigade in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive of 1968.
Tet Offensive was a military campaign during the Vietnam War. The purpose of the offensive was to strike military and civilian command and control centers throughout South Vietnam.
I went in the military, I was 17 years old. Probably the same age a lot of you are. I was in Vietnam as a long-range search and destroy.
The idea of search and destroy was to insert ground forces into hostile territory, search out the enemy, destroy them, and withdraw immediately afterwards. This technique was mainly used in the Vietnam War. Okay, first question. What was your job?
I was an infantryman, a light arms infantry paratrooper.
Paratroopers are soldiers trained in parachuting and operate as part of an airborne force. How long did you serve in Vietnam?
I was served 6 months.
How long were you in the Army?
22 years.
What rank were you in?
As a master sergeant when I retired.
A master sergeant is a military rank for a senior non-commissioned officer in some armed force. Did you earn any special badges?
Any special badges, Rangers, Airborne, yes. DI, no, I couldn't be a drill sergeant. I get in trouble. Yeah, because I don't like little snotty run-nosed kids running up and asking me dumb questions.
Were you awarded any medals?
And presidential citations, certificate of achievement, Purple Heart, Vietnam campaign medals, with Palm, combat service medal, 5 clusters, or in other words, 5 gold stars. Each star counts for 6 months of combat.
Was the unit awarded any citations while you were in it?
Presidential citations, Secretary of the Army citations, Secretary of Defense citations. We got all kinds of streamers because I was in the 173rd Airborne Brigade in Vietnam, which is an airborne brigade separate. It don't come under any division or anybody else. It's a small brigade which deals strictly in long-range services, in other words, search and destroy.
The 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team of the United States Army was the first major Army ground formation deployed in Vietnam. What was the worst food you ate?
Worst food, ham and lima beans, sea rations that date back to 1953.
What was the best food you ate?
Slurp rations. They were dried food and they were light. You can carry them easy and therefore you can go a lot farther because we were long range.
Where were you stationed?
Vietnam, Thailand, 2 tours in Thailand. Been stationed at, in the States, I've been stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Fort McClellan, Alabama, Fort Polk, Louisiana, which is the 5th Infantry Division. I was stationed 2 tours in Europe, working in Frankfurt, Germany, and now 3rd Infantry Division in Schweinfurt, Germany, working the Czechoslovakian border.
What was the craziest thing you did?
Flying in a Phantom 4 jet, that's pretty crazy. I went up there with a guy named Major Ty. He was a Thai Air Force. He was a United States. He was an American, but his name was Ty. And he flew Phantom 4 jets. He was a major. And he did the bombing and a lot of the, attacks in Vietnam and in Laos and Cambodia, for that matter.
Fort Phantom was used during the Vietnam War, serving as the principal air superiority fighter for both the Navy and the Air Force. The jet had a top speed of Mach 2.23. What was the first thing you did when you came home?
Got off the plane, kissed the ground. That was neat.
Would you do it all over again if you had a chance?
No.
Would you like to add anything else?
People wonder, right, why would I say, would I do it again? No, I would not. That was a politician's war, period. It wasn't a soldier's war. And I'm talking politicians on both sides, the enemy side and our side. And to come home to be treated so severely by our own people. I'm not talking about your parents, because your parents were kids. When I was doing what I was doing, your parents weren't even, some of your parents weren't even born yet. So I'm not saying anything, but your grandparents know about it, and put it that way. And not everybody, a lot of them. You got to remember the 60s, right, of the psychedelic world, of the psychedelic drugs of 1968, the year that changed the world, which it did change the world. The whole world was changed. The fighting amongst the races, there's so many things that was, because the world had to change because of the things that was going on during that time. A lot of us veterans suffer to this very day, and will probably take it to our graves with us, because it was so horrendous. It was horrible on all sides. Was that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
You think that was okay?
Thank you, Charles, for our interview.